Tom Brady and Gisele might also be heading that direction, I guess.
Yeah, we kind of called this one a couple weeks ago. There's trouble in paradise, and now they've hired divorce attorneys. So I feel like I've never gotten divorced. I don't know, but I feel like if you hire a divorce attorney, odds are like it's probably going to happen. Like they are probably getting divorced unless this is a one big fat lie. But I think she's been spotted without her wedding ring on lately. Like every paparazzi photo of Gisele, she's not wearing her ring. She hasn't attended a single game of his.
Yeah, that was like a big one, I think, like in terms of like a big red flag. Definitely,
yeah, a red flag. I really wonder. I think, who was it? Girl Boss Town. You know, the PR girl that she's from Boston. She's huge on TikTok. I'm sure everyone knows her. She is predicting that Tom Brady and Kim Kardashian will go on one date in the next year.
That's very interesting.
I know. Honestly, anything is freaking possible. Nothing surprises me anymore.
Nothing shocks me.
But what about Gisele?
I don't know. I mean,
I feel like she wouldn't rush into dating.
I mean, I don't even know if it's so early to even go there, I think. Like, I don't know.
True, but is it though? Because I feel like marriages are over long before the divorce happens. So I feel like,
that's true.
Even when it's not a divorce, like when people break up and like, maybe a month or two later you see that person in a new relationship, it's probably because like that person moved on like months ago.
That's true. Like by the time a divorce is finalized, like they might have been like actually like
not sleeping in the same bed.
They were probably separated for like maybe a year or two.
Right.
That's a good point. Honestly, I have no idea where they're actually at. And I feel like a lot of this has been ambiguous. Like I know she tweeted being like, good luck on the game. Like, let's go team. And then hasn't been to any games. She hasn't been wearing her wedding ring. I don't know. It's just, again, it's sad. They have 2 children together. They've been married since 2009. So they've been together for so long. It's another one of those couples that like, it kind of like, we talked about this with last weekend with Adam Levine, where it's like, you just think that, and Bahati, you think that like, that's like the couple that's going to be around, stay together because they've been together for so long and like they defy those like odds in Hollywood where people usually make it like a year or two. And usually when they make it to year 10, you're like, okay, that's it. They're going to be around long term. So it's sad. It is interesting though, because last month Gisele did speak, I think to Elle magazine about wanting Tom to step away from the NFL for good. But the way she said it, like it didn't sound like they were like approaching divorce territory. So it wasn't, it was like a September 13th issue when the interview happened. I don't actually know, but she basically was just kind of saying, it's a really violent sport. I have my children. I'd like him to be more present. And I've definitely had to have those conversations with him over and over again. But ultimately, I feel like everyone has to make a decision that works for them. I've done my part, which is to be there for him. She goes, I moved to Boston. I focus on creating a cocoon, a loving environment for my children to grow up in. I've been there supporting him and his dreams. But as the kids get older, I want to focus on my dreams too. I have a huge list of things I want to do. Now it's going to be my turn, which I guess you could like read that 2 different ways. Like part of that could be read like her saying he can do his thing, but like I'm going to do my thing and like we're going to get divorced. But there's another part of me that reads that as like her saying, no, it's like, it's my turn. Like he should be supporting me now, but it didn't. And again, like she probably doesn't want to reveal to the world, oh, we're getting a divorce. Right. So she's probably just saying it's probably like crafted by her publicist, like those words.
That's what I was gonna say. It's crafted.
It's interesting that like she sounded very mature about it. And now like a month later, it's like, boom, divorce, or less than a month later.
She was definitely trained on what to say and how to say it.
Yeah.
But like, I almost think that the words that she said were almost trying to like paint her. Because I could honestly see, I feel like she's the one pushing for the divorce. So I feel like she probably wanted to plant the seed that like, oh, like maybe there's trouble in paradise. But like, I'm a really supportive wife and I'm not going to give up on our marriage because X, Y, and Z. So like she wanted to make herself look good and then like be like, no, like I've had my breaking point. Like we're getting a divorce.
Yeah.
Which I don't blame her, honestly.
I also like, this is another situation where you can see both sides. Like she did, pick up her life and move to Boston and support his dreams and be there on the sidelines for him. She did do all those things, but like to play devil's advocate, and I'm not trying to be a bitch, but was your life really that hard? Oh, you had to move to Boston. Like it's not like she had to move to some shitty ass like town in like I don't
She
know.
lived in one of the nicest neighborhoods in Massachusetts.
Yeah, like, oh, you had to move to Massachusetts, this really nice city, and live in like one of the most wealthy neighborhoods in the world. Like, I'm so sorry. And like your husband was like the most famous quarterback of all time, and you just had to go to some games. Again, I know that sounds like I'm just like completely diminishing like her role as a mom. I'm sure she went through a lot. I'm not trying to diminish that, but a lot of women go through a lot, like not just her. Like there's some women that, guess what, have to like be a wife and a mom, and they work.
Yeah.
And they do all this crazy shit, and they have to, and they're poor, and they have to figure out how to pay the bills. Like, like I just like, sometimes I do think, and you can't, I read something someday that said, telling someone that they can't be sad when they have it so good is like telling someone they can't be happy when they have it so bad. So I do try to remember that and have empathy for people. But there is a part of me where I'm kind of like, okay, like let's not play the victim every single time. You know what I mean? Like you kind of had a really great life. Like I get you're frustrated that he wants to keep playing the game. And like I might be frustrated too if I was in her shoes, but like also come on.
I honestly feel like this is just my 2 cents, but and obviously we don't know what happens behind closed doors, but like their kids are 12 and 9 years old. They're old enough to the point where it's like they're in school all day. Why can't you do what you want to do during the day, Monday through Friday? Like she's saying she wants to like, it's like my turn to like do what I want and like chase my dreams and all this stuff. Yeah. So what's your excuse? And also like, they're old enough where like if they have a nanny for like an overnight because she has to go on like some business trip, like it's not a big deal. But now that they're getting a divorce, like what's your plan? Like you're gonna have to co-parent.
Yeah, which makes it harder.
Right.
I know. I
don't understand her logic. I think it's more so, in my opinion, I feel like it's more so like just having like an absentee husband.
Like
more
not
than
feeling
half
the emotional support.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's like, well, he's so dedicated to the game and his sport that it's like you might as well be single because you feel single because he's always not come there.
First. Like his identity will always be football player before husband or before dad. Yeah. No, I actually think that's a good point. That probably would make me upset, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's like this just thing though. Like a lot of guys, like they put their jobs before that they put their families, and that does drive a wedge eventually. I don't know. It's tough. I can see both sides for sure. Yeah. It's also interesting because like it's very divided online. Like a lot of the women are kind of siding with her, and they're like, yeah, like that makes sense why she feels that way. Like he should be backing her up and supporting her the way she did for him. And the men are like, yeah, but he's the GOAT. Like, what do you mean? Like, she's like, wouldn't everyone want to be married to Tom Brady? Like, it's just like funny how it's separated.
Yeah. Well, I'm interested to see who he starts dating. It's not going to be until at least March because whatever this football Super Bowl thing is February. So we have to wait until after the season for him to start dating.
Everyone's breaking up. Everyone.
I know.
Everyone is single except for us.
Thank God. It's cuffing season.
I don't want to do it again.
No. God, no.
We talked about that. Like, if, like, I think it's going to work out with Michael. If it didn't, I couldn't do I think I'd be done.
You think?
I'm closing my doors.
We know.
I just, like, it's a lot of effort.
No, it is. It's 1000% way too much effort to get to know someone, have to like break down your barriers and like be vulnerable and like get to, what's your favorite color? What are your emotional traumas?
What's your favorite color?
Who do you like more, your mom or your dad? Whose relationship is stronger?
You know, Abby's been in a relationship for a while. If she thinks that a classic first date question is, what is your favorite color?
Bitch, I've never been on a first date. What do you mean? You were there. It was a double date and that was it.
And you might have asked that question.
What's your favorite color? Mine's black. Thanks for asking.
I mean, I have a lot of friends that are like ripping the single life and having fun. And I think that's awesome and cool. And I think everyone's very different. I just think I'm personally at a spot right now where I'm like, I don't like, not that I don't want to because it sounds so like meh.
I don't know what you're about to say, but
I think like
you don't want to what?
There's just like so much like crap you have to like get through. Like you said, like you have to put on your best self. And sometimes I just don't feel like my best self. And I just like I can't keep that up.
No.
And I respect people that can. Like people like showing up to a date and like being charming, like that shit takes effort. Like you go home and you're tired after. You're like, I just put on like, it's like a job interview.
It is.
You go home and you're like, wow, like I just gave that my all. I'm like dripping in sweat. Like good for me. Like I want to go to bed. And it's it's exhausting.
I think I would tank a first date. I honestly don't know how people do it.